All right. Bill Brooks has a song for us written by Faith Rivera and David Roth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna turn this trickle into a flow, saying hello to a new life. Gonna let the riches in my life grow. Now it's my time, this is my time to be everything that I dream I can be in my life. And I know that prosperity starts in my mind, here and now, here and now. Now I dive right into a sea of joy, going deeper to my treasure. And I drink in every precious drop. I am richer, so much richer. And I have everything that I truly deserve. And there's more, and I know that prosperity starts in my mind, here and now, here and now. I allow, I enjoy, I receive, I embrace, I commit, I invite, I believe. I open up my arms to this big wide world, saying, come on, bring it all on. Gonna ease on down this yellow brick road full of wonder, so much wonder. I can be everything that I choose to be in my life. And I know that prosperity starts in my mind, here and now, here and now. I allow, I enjoy, I receive, I embrace, I commit, I invite, I believe, here and now, here and now. I enjoy, here and now. I receive, here and now. I embrace, here and now. I commit, here and now, here and now, here and now. Thank you, Bill. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill and Kent, Todd, and Brian. Yeah. Good morning. How many of you could use a little more abundance in some area of your life? Not everybody raised their hands. Well, great. But I bet if you think about it, and if we understand what that word means, abundance, we would answer the question that yes, in some areas of our lives, we can always use more abundance. We're going to talk for the next 3 Sundays about this, about what Jesus meant when he said, I have come that you may have life and have it what? Oh, you guys are so good at that. Yes. Although there wasn't a whole lot of energy in that. I have come that you may have life and have it what? There we go. Yes, life abundantly. What is the life abundant? We talk about it a lot in Unity because it's the big challenge, the big experience we have in the world. How to live more abundantly and how to ensure that everyone else can live more abundantly. So let's get into it. What is abundance? I'm going to start with a quote from Steve Jobs, who wrote, "Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Do not be trapped by dogma, which is living the results of other people's thinking." Did you ever know what that word really meant? It is living the results of other people's thinking. Do not let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. The very word intuition means spirit within. Your spirit. As we say in unity, your Christ spirit, that spark of divinity that is living life as you. What reason did you have for coming to this life at this time in this place? Believe it or not, we all have a reason. What are you here for? You know, I've talked over the last year or so about us being the expression of God. The expression of God. About us being created in the image and likeness of God. What does that mean? Does that mean that God looks like us physically? No, of course not. It means that we are created in the image and likeness of a creative energy, an energy designed and imbued with all the attributes to grow and evolve and live a spiritual life. God does not know lack or limitation. And if we are created in the image and likeness of God, then truthfully, there cannot be such a thing as lack or limitation. Jesus talked about this. He said, "The thief does not come except to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I have come that they may have life and they may have it more abundantly." But what is the thief? Who is the thief? The thief is up here. The thief is our doubts, our fears, all those programs that we have absorbed through our lifetime and through generations, that we are somehow not worthy, that we are somehow not capable. And yet every teacher the world has ever known, including Jesus, said the nature of life is abundance. Think about something. Think about life on this planet. How many forms of life are on this planet? We still don't know. Even though we're losing many, we do not know how many forms of life there are on this planet. How many forms of humans are walking the earth? How many ways of expressing life do we have in this place? It tells me that there is an infinite expression of all things, of health, of wealth, of love, of peace, of experience, of all good things. There are no limits. And yet we live in a world where the part of the answer that has been drummed into us has been abundance is bad. It's difficult. It's given only to a chosen few. And yet that is not the teaching of any teacher. In his book, The Key to Spiritual Growth, James Lewis wrote this: "There is no need for some to have abundance and others to not. There is more than enough of God's good for everyone, for this is an opulent universe." Now, I want to stop here and explain. There is something out there called the prosperity of gospel. That is not what we teach. Interestingly enough, I got curious and said, where did this idea of a prosperity gospel come from? Well, it actually came out of New Thought. It came out of the abundance philosophy, but then it was twisted by capitalistic beliefs. It rose to prominence among televangelists and megachurches. And while its origins are in New Thought, it has lost the message. For it now says that only if you are a Christian, by the definition of whoever is standing up front saying what a Christian is, which usually means you go to their particular church, then God will reward you. And God will punish those who don't believe the way I believe with poverty. And the problem with that teaching is that it is a very transactional model of God. And its focus is on material riches and gross distortions of faith. Both religious and secular critics have expressed concerns that that teaching blames individuals' lack of faith for their misfortunes and that it may be used to financially exploit the poor and the emotionally vulnerable. But real spiritual abundance teaching says that we all live in a universe that is abundant. We all, regardless of religion, regardless of experience, regardless of ability, regardless of anything, we all are heirs to the kingdom. And thus, we have an unlimited access to abundance and an obligation to help one another achieve that same access. In a way, you could say we are all students and we are all teachers. So what is abundance? If you look up the root of the word from the Aramaic, abundara, it means overflowing. Overflowing. All that is necessary. Go all the way back to Malachi. It says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse that there may be food in my house. Test me in this and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much of a blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. What is tithing? Oh, I see some of you going, oh no, he said the T word. Tithing is a giving back into the flow, giving back to source. And it doesn't have to only be money. It is ideas. When we receive ideas, do we give them back? How do we give an idea back? We give it by putting it into by putting it into motion. We give it by inspiring those around us with divine ideas. Like, oh, wow, I had this great idea. What about dreams? Do we tithe on our dreams? Do we empower others to have dreams? Action, of course. And of course, all of our other forms of supply. And it can never be depleted because every single thing in the universe is nothing more nor less than energy. And there is no way to deplete energy. If I were to take this mic off this stand and drop it after John had a heart attack, I would not do that. But it would not deplete gravity. There would still be just as much gravity as there was before I dropped that mic. In fact, in some things, the more we give, the more we attract into our lives. Thank God we don't attract more gravity. But we can do it with love. We can do it with life. We can do it with our material good. It's all about being in the flow of energy. All good flows from God. We know that. The law of infinite abundance is not a cold, lifeless, metaphysical reality, but a loving, spiritual reality. We do not create it. We cannot start it or stop it. We can only choose to be in the flow of life or outside of the flow of life, in the flow of health or out of the flow of health, in the flow of financial supply or out of the flow of financial supply, in the flow of ideas and dreams and talents and wisdom or out of it. And so our very real business, the thing that every teacher taught, is to get into the flow. Get into the flow of life. Get into the flow of the universal supply that is all around us. Today we're going to talk about meet the CSO. Because one of the ways we do that in our Western culture is through business. That's kind of weird talking about business in church. But if you think about it, your life is your business. You have goals and dreams that you are working for. You have a product that you give to the world and expect some sort of compensation. That product is your knowledge, your talent, your love, your strength, everything about you. So your life is a spiritual business. I'll let you in on a little secret. There's part of church that's a business too. You know, we have bills to pay and improvements we like to make, and we want to invest money in our staff and our children and our services, and it all takes a good business sense and a good business plan. It takes being in the flow so that we get a return on the good we put out, the product that we put out. So what if we looked at our lives as a business? Do you know Jesus did that? If you really think about it, Jesus was a CEO with 12 president with 12 vice presidents. Actually, he had a lot more than that, but we'll stick with canon and say 12. And he had a CSO. What's a CSO? Now, you've probably heard of CEOs, Chief Executive Officer, or a COO, Chief Operations Officer, or a CFO, Chief Financial Officer. What is a CSO? A CSO is the Chief Spiritual Officer. We all have a Chief Spiritual Officer. Of course, that Chief Spiritual Officer has a name. The most common one is what? God. Spirit within, divine mind. Call it whatever you will. That is our Chief Spiritual Officer. What does a chief officer in any organization do? Whether it be a CEO, CFO, or CSO. What do? They guide, they direct, they dream, they inspire. And they are accountable to the people they serve. We are accountable to God, but God is also accountable to us. We can trust our CSO implicitly. For our personal CSO is the all-knowing power of the universe. It is abundance itself. And its office is at hand. You don't have to make an appointment. You don't have to set aside a certain time, although we're going to talk about that because it does help. God is always available 24/7. And his chief mission is to hold your personal mission statement. How many of you have ever created a personal mission statement? You don't have to raise your hand. Some of you have. Very good. I encourage you to do that. Go into meditation. Ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I really here? What did I take life for? What mission did I come here to fulfill? What did I come to learn? What did I come to achieve? Because make no mistake about it, you are here for a purpose. And the very fact that you're here says that you have something to offer the world that is unique and remarkable. You ever thought about that? We lose sight of that as we grow and get caught up in the world. That we have something unique and remarkable, every one of us, regardless of age or experience, to offer the world. And the CSO's job, God's job, is to support your efforts, to enable you to receive all that you need to fulfill your mission. So what do we have to do that? Well, the first thing we have to be able to do is trust the CSO. You know, we have on our money since 1954, in God we trust. How many of us ever take that as a personal motto? When we work with Spirit, this partnership cannot fail. So how does it work? You were given, as you walked in, a piece of paper. Did everybody get one? Blue piece of paper? If you didn't, please raise your hands. A couple people. Ushers, can we make sure everybody gets one of these, please? Raise your hands and hold them up so the usher can bring it to you. We have two right here, and a couple back there. And if you still don't get one, see me after the service, and I'll make sure you get one. So the CSO creates the path, provides direction. Our job is to follow the path and follow direction and to celebrate our good. What are the steps? If you look on your paper, you'll see steps. We start at the same time every day. For many of us, that's our time of meditation in the morning. And if you need to, let people know that you are not going to be available for that time. It does not have to be long. Couple minutes. Go into it. Go into the meditation. Take a breath and ask God, who are you? Have you ever thought about who or what God really is to you? Now, we have all the definitions down through history of what God is. Creator of the universe, old man on a cloud with anger management issues. Spirit within, loving father, loving mother, life force. But who or what do you see God as? What is your relationship with God? Ask yourself, what do I really think about you, God? Do I really trust you? You know, Myrtle Fillmore used to say all the time, one of the challenges we have is that we only go to God after everything else has failed. What if we went to God first and said, God, I have this challenge. In Myrtle Fillmore's case, it was health. I have this healing need. What do I do? Who do I go to? She did try everything first and then went to God. But as she grew and learned, she learned to go to God first. So go to the CSO first, but understand and get to know who that is, what your relationship is with God. And maybe work on that if you need to. One of the things you can ask, what do I really wish God was? What do I really wish God was? Jesus saw God as a loving parent. What do you want to see God as? There are no wrong answers. It's personal. The next question is, why am I here? Why am I here? What is my life's work? Not my daily work, not my family, not career. What is my soul's mission? Why did I take this life? Who has really ever done that? Why am I here? And then one thing I encourage you to do if you've never done it or maybe need to freshen it up, create your personal mission statement. Just like we have our mission statement. It's up there, right? Yeah. We have our mission statement. Every individual has a mission statement. Most of us have either never known it, never been conscious of it, or have forgotten it. When you've trained to be a unity minister, you have to have a personal mission statement. And then agree. Agree with God that God will provide you all of the guidance, all of the strength, all of the ideas, and all of the supply you need to fulfill your mission. But you got to be fulfilling your mission for that to happen. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore had their covenant with God. They said, we dedicate our lives, our energy to this mission that we call unity. And in return, God will supply us all that is necessary for us to do this work and live a life that we choose to live. And then we get into the flow. We get into the flow through our prayers, through our meditation, and through our action. So if you want to do it, that's your homework for the week. It's pretty simple. It's get to know God. Get to know God and you and your relationship. Get to know God in you. In Lessons in Truth, Emily Keyler wrote, God, the CSO, the source of our existence every moment, is not simply omnipotent. God is omnipotence. God is not simply omnipresent. God is omnipresence. If then God and I are one, then you too are omnipotent and omnipresent in the affairs and the results of your living. God and I are one. That's what every teacher said. And if I and the Father are one, then I must be one with all that is. There cannot be any separation. It is simply not possible. And so it is up to us to open our eyes to a new vision, to accept our good, to give thanks for our good, and to embrace our good. So this week in this series, we're looking at life as if it was a spiritual business, because you know what? It is a spiritual business. It is the business of you living your true life to its fullest potential. And we start, of course, with our leadership, our CSO, Chief Spiritual Officer, God. So this week I invite you to practice some of these things that are on that piece of paper. Really think about that. And I look forward to hearing what you discover next week. And before I end this service, as I said, we are a spiritual business as a church. Every church is, no matter how much they might want to try to deny it. There is that side of it. And as you know, we have leadership. We have a CSO, which is God, but we also have a board of trustees. And several weeks ago, we elected a new board of trustees, and now we are going to induct them formally. So I would like to invite up the existing sitting board. If you would all come up. Yeah, you can stand in the middle. Andrea, John, Carol, Lori. Okay, and Janet could not be here today. Are we missing somebody? No, that's right. We are not yet. Okay. Yeah, Janet could not be with us today. She is out of town. This is your board of trustees that has served you for the last year. And they have served some of them longer than that. So yes, let's give them a hand. They have given of their time, their talent, their treasure, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Not too many tears, actually. We have a wonderful community and board. Some tears. But a lot of hard work, a lot of passion, and a lot of dedication, and a lot of being one with Spirit. Every meeting starts with prayer. Every meeting starts with meditation. We tune in before we do the work. They are the light that helps us shine our lights. And so today, I light my candle off the Christ candle. And I pass that light on to you. There you go. Now, unlike Congress, we do have term limits. And one of our board members has fulfilled her term of duty and will be stepping off, and that is Lori Roop. And Lori, it's only a piece of paper, but expresses our love and our appreciation for all the years of service you give to this church, this community, to every one of us, all of the support and all of the work you do behind the scenes. And even though she's stepping off the board, she's not going away. She still volunteers in the office and she was here cleaning up broken glass the other day. So, Lori, we love you. You can say it with me. We bless you, and we truly appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. And thank you for your service. And don't go away yet. You're not done. And now I would like to invite up our new board members, Chris Kathleen and Tiana. And I have to get my paper out for this part. Here it is. Because now we induct our new board members, and you all get to help. Guess we need candles first. Take one, please. Please. And at the same time, we will be re-inducting our existing board members. So I would ask those of you who can to please stand. For you are the voice of this church. You are the ambassadors of unity in the community. You are the backbone, and the volunteers who give service. And you elect these board members from your ranks to represent you, to be your voice. So to everybody I ask, do you promise to uphold the vision of this church? Yeah, the answer is yes, or I do. Unless you don't. Do you promise to give of your time, talent, and treasure to the beloved activity we know as unity? Yes. Thank you. You may be seated. And to our board members, do you promise to uphold the principles created and taught by Jesus the Christ, to put God first in all that you say and do, in all your service, in all the ways you serve this community? You say, I do. Let us join together in prayer. Board, you have expressed your willingness to serve in the capacity for which you have been elected. This willingness reveals that you know and accept the truth, that you are a child of God, and in accepting that truth, you know that your purpose becomes to express more of God in your life and to empower those in this community and the greater community to express Spirit in their own lives. To you is given the responsibility to express the God-given qualities and gifts that are with you in your life and the lives of all we touch. We acknowledge this sacred commitment. We honor your willingness to bless Unity Spiritual Center through your service on our board of directors. And as you prepare yourself to serve in this capacity, will you always look to the indwelling Christ Spirit for wisdom, guidance, and inspiration? Yes. And now, Lori, would you pass your light to our new board members? And join me in prayer. We know and we acknowledge, God, that it is the Christ Spirit that is the head of this church and of our individual lives. May we always be guided by the wisdom of that light. We are grateful for the love and dedication of these dear ones who have accepted the call to serve. Thank you, God. And now I officially present to you our 2023 Board of Trustees. And let's give them our unity blessing. Board of Trustees, we love you, we bless you, and we truly appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome. Now get to work. Now. So I invite you to take your papers home. Start your own business of life. Life being led by your chief spiritual officer. And next week, we'll dive a little deeper into that. Until then, namaste.
All right. Bill has another song for us. This is by Daniel Nahmad. Brian, you start. 1, 2,
3. I've had so many doubts along the way. Felt like life was just another bill to pay, without anything to show. But now I've figured out that every day my fortune's always found within my faith. And all I needed was to let it flow, 'cause there's no wall around me, only fear has truly bound me. And all I need is trust and I am free. I'm sitting on a gold mine. On a gold mine. My treasure has been right here all the time. I'm sitting on a gold mine. All right. Finally, I'm breaking through so many lies. All those people telling me to run and hide from the truth of who I am. But now I'm telling you the future's bright. Tomorrow shines like diamonds in the sky. And all I needed was to understand that whatever I'm believing, well, that's what I'm receiving from the riches that reside inside of me. I'm sitting on a gold mine. Oh yeah, on a gold mine. Oh yeah, treasure has been right here all the time. I'm sitting on a gold mine. All right. Don't you listen, never listen to the voice that says you better play it safe, that says you don't have any choice, 'cause you're as gifted as an angel, as brilliant as the sun. Just say the word and heaven has begun. We're sitting on a gold mine. Oh yeah, we're sitting on a gold mine. All right, our treasure has been right here all the time. We're sitting on a gold mine. Oh yeah, sitting on a gold mine. Oh yeah, sitting on a gold mine. Oh yeah. Do 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 sitting on a gold mine.
All right, thank you, Bill. Great.